An IV bag contains 1 liter of fluid with a drop factor of 10 drops per milliliter. You start it dripping at 1000 hours and it should be empty at 1500 hours. So that would be like 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Alright, how many milliliters will remain in the bag at 1200 hours? Interesting. Let's see. In order to know how many will be in the bag at 1200 hours, you need to know how much is gone. So, how much remain is going to be, first of all, it's 1 liter. You want it in milliliters. So, 1 liter is equal to how many milliliters? You should remember that without looking back at any notes or any book or any other document. It's 1000 milliliters. Right? So how much remains is 1000 milliliters minus how much is used up. Alright, you need to know how much is used up. Now, how much is used up? That will come from knowing how much is used up every hour. And then you multiply that by how many hours had passed. Alright? Now, how do you know how much is used up every hour? Call it used per hour. That will come from the total milliliters divided by total hours, total number of hours. So find how many milliliters is there, divide by total number of hours. You will know how much is being used up every hour. Multiply by the number of hours that had passed. You will see how much is used up. Then the total amount minus how much is used up will be how much remains. Alright? So here now, let's find how much is used up every hour. So 1000 milliliters will be in the bag. It should be empty at 1500 hours. Divide by how many hours? How many hours passed? 1000 to 1100 hours. That's 1 hour. 1200 hours. 2 hours. 1300 hours. That's 3 hours. 1400 hours. That's 4 hours. 1500 hours. That's 5 hours. So it's 1000 milliliter over 5 hours. That will be what? 200 milliliters per hour is being used up. Alright? Oh, this is part A. Alright? So, that's how much is being used up. Now, from 1000 hours to 1200 hours, that represents how much time passed. How much is that? From 1000 hours to 1200 hours is 2 hours. Alright? That's 2 hours past. So if 200 is being used up after 1 hour, then 200 by 2. 200 by 2 milliliters will be used up after 2 hours. It's 400 milliliters used after 2 hours. How much remain? Oh, this was from a previous work that I did. How much remain? The remain, how much remains? Will be 1000 milliliters minus, you take away 400 milliliters already, and what remains is 600 milliliters. So 600 milliliters will remain in the bag at 1200 hours. Alright? Now, the next question is, at what time should the bag be halved? Alright, so that will be part B. Let me erase the previous work that I had down here. I want to clear the board. Now, part B. When you say half, it means 500 milliliter used up at what time? That is really the question. You could also consider 500 milliliters remained at what time. But anyway, we're using, was it 200 milliliters per hour. Alright? Now, look at this. 200 milliliters per 1 hour. But the thing is, our answer should be in hours. We're going to find how many hours pass for 500 milliliter to be used up, and then we consider what time that would be from 1000 hours. Now, this is milliliters per hour. But the thing is, our other information here says 500 milliliters. We cannot multiply these as it is, right? Because we do have milliliter times milliliter, which will be milliliter squared over hour. We need to take this and put up here, and take this and put down here. So we'll have hour over milliliter times milliliter, and milliliter will cancel milliliter. So what we'll have to do is put the 1 hour over 200 milliliters and multiply that by 500 milliliters. Then we say milliliters cancel milliliters, and we're left with hour. So that will be 1 over 200 times 500, and the answer will be in hours. So it's really 500 over 200. Same as 5 over 2, which is what? 2 into 5 goes 2 times. Remainder 1, 2.5 hours. So it's 2.5 hours. 2.5 hours would pass. And then we say 2.5 hours from 1000 hours would be what? It would be 1100 hours. That's 1 hour. Then 1200 hours. That's 2 hours. So that would be 1230 hours, right? So 1200, and all right, so 1230 hours. Now, part C, how many drops should there, how should SHOULD. Alright, so how many of it should drop every 5 seconds? Because you want to have your stopwatch and you count how many drop every 5 seconds, right? If you get 4 drops, you need to loosen the tube. If you get 6 drops, you need to tighten it a little bit. You want how many? I mean, if you should get 3 drops and you get 2 drops, you need to loosen the tube a little bit, the valve. If you get 4 drops, it's 3 you want, so you need to tighten it a little bit. So you need to estimate how many drops there should be every 5 seconds. Alright, let's see something here. Part C. Now, if we get drops per second, we're going to multiply it by 5 to find how many drops every 5 seconds. We need to get drops per minute. If we don't have that, we could see if we can get it from drops per hour. Alright, let's see something here. We have 10 drops per milliliter, right? 10 drops per milliliter. We have 200 milliliter per hour. So we have 10 drops per milliliter. We also have 200 milliliter per hour. No, 200 milliliter per hour we have here. If we could get drops per milliliter, and we could also get milliliter per my mistake, per minute, then milliliter would cancel milliliter and we get drops per minute. You see that? So let's see if we can find drops per minute or milliliter per minute. This is milliliter per hour. Now whatever happened in 1 hour, 1/68 of that happened in 1 minute. This is 200 milliliters in 1 hour times. Now we want hour up here. Hour will cancel hour, but what number will be here? It is 1/68 of a hour. Make a minute. 1 hour in 60 minutes. So if we multiply this by 1/68, it's like dividing 200 by 60. So we're finding 1/68 of what happened in 1 hour. This is per minute. Alright, good. Now look at this. If we should multiply the 10 drops per milliliter by the 200 milliliter, milliliter would cancel milliliter. Alright, so let's multiply that. So milliliter cancel milliliter, power cancel hour. So what we would get now is drops per minute, because this is 60 minutes. 1 hour is 60 minutes. So it's drops per minute that we would get, right? So here, 200 drops every hour is 200 over 60 drops every minute, right? It's 260 drops per minute, all right? So 260 milliliters. Milliliter had cancelled milliliter, but this is whatever had happened here every 1 hour. Divide it by 60 and we get what happened, how much happened in 1 minute. So divide by 60, we get milliliter per minute. But milliliter had cancelled milliliter here. So we have drops per minute now. So it's 10 by 200 over 60 that we will have. And this will be in GTT, drops per minute. So there is 1 10 in 10 and there are 6 tens in 60. 200 divided by 6 is what we're going to be getting, right? So 200 over 6 equals 33.3. 33.3, and the 3 repeat. Alright, if it was the final answer, we would just write 33, but let's use the 33.3 for this. 33.3 drops per minute. 33.3 drops per minute. How many drops per second is that? We have 1/60th, because this is minute and this is 60 second. Minute would cancel minute. 1 minute out of every second. So it's like saying 33.3 and you divide by 60, right? So what do we get now? That divided by 60 equals over 60 equals, and we get 0.55 repeating. Let me just put that over the 5 to show that it repeats. Alright, so this is drops per second. Now, after 5 seconds, the number of drops in every 5 seconds is 0.5 repeating times 5 equals. If we multiply that by 5, this by 5 equal 2.7. Alright. It's not convenient to measure every 5 seconds here. Suppose you measure every 6 seconds then, and say 0.5 repeating by 6, that would give you a little over 3 drops. If you multiply by 10, that will give you 5.5 drops. So let's say you multiply by 7. Alright, 8 times 8. And what do you get? Oh no, 0.55 by 8, I mean. A little over 4 drops. So after 16 seconds, you should have about 9 drops, right? After 16 seconds, you have around 9 drops. So you make an adjustment there. If you have the time to wait 16 seconds and count it, you make more than 9 drops, you can tighten a little bit. If you make less than 9 drops, you loosen the valve a little bit. But you should have around 9 drops every 16 seconds, alright? But again, the 0.55 by 5 is 2.7. Even though we might say 3 drops per 5 seconds. After 15 seconds, that would be 9 drops every 15 seconds. Which would be close to about 9 drops every 16 seconds, right? 2.7 drops. It's close to 3, almost 3 drops every 5 seconds. Alright? So, just about that. But anyway, that will be it for now. Any question, you put it in the comments. All right.